How do you spend 8 hours with someone and not hook up? And life goes on. Okay, I'll be good.
Because my husband of 20 years is sitting
I
next
know,
to
no,
us
I know,
as
I know,
well.
I get that. But I'm just thinking that sounds like a romance. We spent 8 hours together singing "Kumbaya."
It was like a seminar, a
But
mastermind alliance.
it was beautiful.
I know. I just couldn't spend 8 hours with you, hon. I'm sorry. I just
Yes, you
couldn't.
could, Michael. It
No, I
didn't feel
couldn't.
like 8 hours. And giddy up, your name is on the list for next year. So giddy
Giddy
up.
up.
I know where you live. Giddy up.
All right.
Okay, so that's she said it here first. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That she knows where he lives. She's gonna get him.
I want to do a question to the audience. So, do you think if you spend 8 hours with someone you barely know, that's a little weird? Just put it in the comments. If you think it's not weird, it could be kismic. It could be part of a master plan. I get all that, but that is not a normal thing unless you work together and you just finished a shift, right?
Well, it didn't feel like work. It just felt like pure joy. It really did, because, Carl is a master of holding space. And he was just so elegant and respectful and full of integrity when he met Merv. And it was just like seeing a reflection, like Merv can hold space, Carl can hold space. And then what was the beautiful energy was like when Carl was like, when's your birthday? When's your birthday? Their birthdays is 18th of May. Yeah.
That's very
Nothing
weird.
to say, isn't it, Mike? No, it's not weird.
Okay.
It's
That's
so
very
cute.
weird. When's your birthday? I already know.
June 4th.
Oh no, it's not. Okay, it's somebody else then. I thought okay. I didn't know your birthday then. It was somebody else. There's someone else that I speak to all the time. Oh, I know who it is. Donika. Donika and I are a day apart in birthdays. That's who it is. See, here's the thing. When I talk to Donika and I talk to you, some of the same astral planes, frequencies, weird vibrations, manipulation of energies happen in the universe. So it's almost like you're no longer speaking, you're getting threads. You're getting messages and then you just talk. I have no idea what I'm going to say next. I just trust that the words are going to be okay. I remember the first time I was in a room with you, I could barely talk. We laughed. We laughed and I listened to it after and it was like, this is bizarre. It's like we're talking, but we're not talking. Do you know what I mean? Like some people you have conversations with them and you go, what did we say? We didn't say anything. We just shared energy.
Well,
do you agree with any of that?
Well, there you go, Michael. You just answered it. What Carl, Merv, and Zaki and I shared. It was just pure energy currency. Boom, boom, bang, bang, respect. It was just oceans of love, oceans and oceans and oceans.
You bring up a good.
I think I need a shovel.
You bring up a good point, Simone Louise, regarding the clock said it was 8 hours, but the heart said it was just maybe an hour or so. It really, what it felt like was definitely different than what the clock was saying. And when you are really in that zone, it's sort of, the clock sort of surprises you. You're like, wait, 8 hours is gone. We've just been hyper sailing through the chronos here. And
when you're in the zone, right? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
In the flow. Yeah. When you're in the flow, synchronicities, and there is no time because there's no resistance. There's no wind blowing you back. I like that.
Yeah.
Actually. We should write that down.
Write
that down, somebody.
It's also worth noting that there was a very particular build-up to this occasion, which it wasn't like I just got a random DM from someone that I'd never heard their voice, never collaborated with them. They're just like, hey, let's go hang out. And which does happen, by the way. Someone said the other day that they wanted X to have they have the jobs feature, community feature. They wanted a dating feature added. It's like, it's already there. It's already there. No one's waiting for the dating feature to sort of jump on that wagon. But what I'm saying is that we had the friendship and the alliance had been established prior through she invited me to do the space with her, and that was a wonderful experience. And I love that series. I would love to know if your video content is going to be an extension of that series.
Well, Carl, you've given me again so much confidence. I went through my YouTubes and I heard you say that. I just went through the 14 shows or spaces that I've done. And so, yes, you've really ignited that because I've always struggled writing a book. I've just stopped and started. But to be able to have, 20, 30, space episodes, done and completed and forward, those titles just got downloaded very, very fast. So I'm glad that we're in the company of genius, and I'm just so grateful for, this time. And, Michael, what I want to be able to say about with Carl, by spending those sacred moments with him, seeing his little emoticon or his little avatar picture, seeing him now, it just amplifies, it simulates everything we shared, and it just re-triggers it in a great way. I'm just like bathing and basking in like, that was real. And that's why hubby and I came, because it was like, well, what I feel on my phone is real. I want to come and meet people. So,
but it's a different experience when you meet somebody. It is, and I'm not saying you can't have connection this way. You can. I totally agree with that. I think there have been many people who have talked like this for a year and then end up getting married, right? Because they get to be able to. I'm not saying you two are getting married. I
just say to my husband, I got lots of space hubbies, internet hubbies, not really.
Yeah.
But there's spiritual love and there's pure love.
And there's the love of Archangel Michael, you told me. Archangel Michael, the real Archangel Michael, is the love of your life. Right?
Yes. Yes.
The real Archangel Michael, not idiot Michael here, Michael Bathurst. We better explain that. Yeah.
We got Maria Humphreys joining us in the chat.
You should come up. You should come up, and the more the merrier. You can do that.
Exactly. Maria, come and.
We would love for you to come up. Yeah. Okay. See, he is not pushy like me. So I just jump in there. I see someone and I go, hey, come on up. Let's do it.
We would love to have you up. And yes, the chat is a little bit active, Maria. This one chick going, her thumbs are on fire. So would love to have you come up. If you need the link, I've got it posted in, it's the first comment. She said, you caught me. No, not tonight. Hey, no worries. We're just glad. See, this is what I'm talking about.
In the future.
Of course. And this is what I'm talking about, Michael, is just seeing familiar faces come by. Maria can't come up tonight, but she just came by and just said hello, just seeing a familiar face. These are the ways that I see community reflected. And, like you, Michael, and Simone Louise joining up on the mic and the video with me, being able to see someone like their
but we're supporting your we're supporting your cause. That's why we're here, because we care about you. It'd been anybody else, I probably would have went, I'm not feeling that. But I saw you, and I saw you were alone, and I knew it was your second time or third time or something. You're somewhat of a newbie. And I was like,
hey, we don't do that name calling. I'm not a newbie. I'm an expert.
No, but I mean to video. The video. Video's tough. If you do video by yourself, you can be very self-reflective. And you know what I'm trying to say, Simone? Help me here. I feel like I'm...
No, you're doing great.
I'm being playful with you, Mike. I know your intention is considerate and welcoming. Oh, Simone, to you.
No, that's okay, my love. I got to get my skates on, like literally. Like I got to go. I got to catch this. I got to catch this Uber, and I got to get to class. And we've got 80s music and disco balls.
Can you ask for songs when you're there?
Sure.
Okay. There's a group called Vaughn Mason and Crew. Can you remember that? Vaughn Mason?
Yeah, Vaughn Mason and Crew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have a song called Roller Skate. It is phenomenal.
Ooh,
And
amazing.
Cameo has a song called Roller Skate. And there's a group called you know what, for me, you know what my favorite roller skating memory is, believe it or not? Hollywood Swingers, Kool and the Gang. I was getting my groove on that day until I fell on my ass. It was good. And I was maybe 16. So if you're out there and listening to Hollywood Swingers by Kool and the Gang, you can go, Manchester did it.
Yeah. Carl, it was exquisite. It was exquisite to see you in Austin. It really was. I really thank you. And this is the first time I've spoken to you since I've seen you. So full of grace. Michael, you absolutely rock. Love your energy. Both of you have the time of your life, and I'll check back later.
Tell Merv thank you for sharing, your time with us.
Oh my gosh, of course.
And Merv's a big dude. Nobody's gonna mess with him. Trust me.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm loving this shirt, Merv. Simone Louise, Mr. Merv, it was so wonderful to have both of you here today. I know you're about to embark on your adventure, but I just want to say I fully expect to see some pictures on X of you out in the arena.
Maybe. Yeah, we might get a few. That's a good thing. That's the Merv. He's the photographer, and he does good. He knows that when he wears the Hawaii shirt, I'm so much nicer to him. So he's doing it for a reason.
Oh, that's good. So do you know who Merv Griffin is, Merv?
Oh, of course.
Michael, I think they're trying to. I think they got the Uber pulling up. I think they're trying to make their exit here. So we're gonna.
I want him to look at Merv.
But he knows this. He knows this one, Carl.
Yes, from the TV show in Australia.
He was the biggest thing.
Yes. When I was growing up, the only other Mervs I knew were my dad and his dad, my grandfather. And then we had a famous Australian cricket player called Merv Hughes, who has a big moustache and a huge beer gut. In Australia, when they can't understand my name, I say, it's like Merv Hughes. But here in America, I can say Merv like Merv Griffin. And most people sort of over 30 tend to know him. But anyone under 30 seems to have no idea of him. So
I have one more question. Do you know who Barry White is?
Yeah, the voice, of course.
Yes. As many times as we've made love and shared love, it's just not enough. Yeah, I know. That's Barry White. There you go.
Barry White.
We love you. We appreciate you both. You absolutely rock. See you soon. Thanks.
Take care. Thank you, Merv. Thank you.
Take care. We will see you.
Be careful.
We'll see you next time.
Oh my God, we're crazy. Not you.
Wow.
Just me. But you could see we were playful. All of us haven't.
Yeah, so good to have her on. And like I said, people don't need to stay around for the whole voyage. Just stopping by and saying hello, like Maria here, just saying she's feeling grateful. We got Simone Louise exiting out with the Purple Hearts.
Great.
And
shot,
it matches her profile picture. So we appreciate that. And Maria saying, and you guys too, with the little tiny chick emerging from the eggshell. Love that. And Maria.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure, but I know she's a big fan of it. Okay. And it's oddly coincidental that we have this one chick who feels like in the same realm. We got that symbol, the chick, the person, and the eggshell variant. Just something we noticed. And appreciate you, Merv, for liking the show, boosting it. And to you, Michael.
Oh, I hope I'm not driving you crazy, buddy.
Oh, no.
Just a little.
No, this is the voyage. And we got to do with, Sarah's not here, but we make do. We carry the torch. We'll pick her up on the next one,
She is such a calming force. And she's meant to do this as well. But this is your voyage. And there's going to be times when you do it alone. Now, do you have anything do you have music you want to play? Do you have let's say that I wasn't here and you had to do your business. Would you have something to play? Do you have a video of you could play while you know what I mean? Like, I have strategies. I have strategies. I'll put my music on and go, okay, I got 3.5 minutes. I better make the most of this. I'm gonna go do this. You don't have a producer. It's tough. Now, right now, I don't know if you know this. We're also on YouTube, my YouTube. We're on Twitch, and we're on, just as of recently, because when she was on talking, I was able to do it, the coordinates, and it was about half of what Simone did at the end. So we'll have a few people watching that later, probably. So I'm just glad we're sharing. But can I make a suggestion for you in the future? When you get your guest on, get them to use their networks. Okay? Because let's say you had 7 people on here, and those 7 people shared it on YouTube, or they shared it on, oh my God, man, you're going to get exposure. Because my audience is different than your audience. Simone's audience is different than our audience. And it's just having her here, I'm telling you right now, it will alter your audience a little bit. Having me here, you're going to have some people you probably don't want here. But that's okay. You know, I have a really diverse audience because I do football too, right? And my
indeed.
And my football people think I'm crazy because I'm talking to spiritual people. Can we go back to your supplements?
We'll get to that in just a moment. And I appreciate you doing the multicast thing, because I think the streaming destination, like, it's sort of incorporating the spaces aspect of people piling in based on one person joins, their network's connected, and that sort of stockpiling effect, bringing that to YouTube with the guest destinations aspect. And that ties in perfectly with what Maria says that she's grateful for today, which is, she says, I'm grateful for this miraculous technology, which allows us the ability to reach across the planet to other human beings. And
we take that for granted.
I think we do, Michael.
I do. I know I do.
I confess, which is why whenever I do a gratitude show, I usually end up, one of the first things is talking about the platform that I'm on, like being on X and the people that I've met from X.
Right.
I mean, this is more than just a social, like a digital network. Like, the social audio brings a whole nother element when it comes to connecting with people, more so than just the words. And Maria also states, my energy is much better when I'm not multi-streaming. Okay, so that it has an effect on her to be narrow format. And she says this tech is a gift. It absolutely is, because I wouldn't have met any of these people had it not been for platform like X. And just to answer your question from earlier, Michael, so when I first started doing social audio, I was actually I would just stream every day, and I would just be in a room by myself for an hour, just every day, and and people don't show up. That's fine. I made it my mission to develop this skill set of being able to speak and share my thoughts.
I just put it on pause for a second, because I want people to understand what you're saying, because they won't. And I'm not being disrespectful. Here's the thing. So you went on knowing that no one may listen. That's brave. And that's the thing. The first broadcast is never going to be great. I'm telling you right now. The 50th one may not be great, but the 150th one might be. I'm probably into now 5,000 broadcasts easily with them. But a lot of them were absolute. There's some I begged people to take down. Like, we did this one. Oh yeah, we did this one that was karaoke, and nothing matched. The technology didn't match. We looked like we were out of our minds, and they kept it up because people laughed so hard. We had 5,000 views. It was this horrible sounding. we were singing the Beatles thinking we're sounding great because when we're all singing together in the room, it sounded fine. But once they it sounded like other people were on crack and this person was drunk and it was so bad. And I begged them. I said, please just take it down. I don't mind that we did it. I don't want to ever see it again. That's all I saw for 2 years was this stupid show. But the bravery, and I hope this inspires someone. If he's willing to go and be on an hour, because most people would be like, this isn't working, I give up. You're basically doing reps, right? Like they do in football, where you're doing reps into, what's that saying? Repetition is the mother of skill. That's what you're doing. And you're good, man. You're really good now. I don't know how long it took you to get here, this voyage. It might have been 10 years, but you're really good. And I don't say that to everybody. I'm pretty, honestly, a bit of an asshole when it comes to that. There's very few people I give credit to. There was someone at my work. I've known them 10 years, and I went, you're finally comfortable. That's not really a that's not really a compliment. But I said, she goes, if you say that, then it means something. She goes, because if I look comfortable to you, then I said, you always said the right things, but you didn't seem comfortable saying it. You're going to get where you get on here, and you're not going to care if there's 5,000 people on here or 5. You're just going to be you because you know that's enough.
Wow. Well, first of all, I want to say huge thank you for the words of light. I do cherish that. It's one of it's one of the ways that I see. I think it's important that we see ourselves reflected through others. Is exactly that, the words that you've shared with me here today, and I appreciate that deeply. Now, when I will say though that when I see people with that mindset, I truly, when people are, first of all, you have to commit to growing yourself and not the show. That's just my own personal, like what brought me through that with ease.
Say that again. Say that again.
Committed to growing my.
Say that again. Exactly the way you said it. Do you remember how you said it? That's fucking gold. That is gold. I don't swear a lot, but that was gold. Put the energy into you. And then, you know what they say, though? And I love this. And it's so true. If you're doing something you love, people will love watching you do it. Like, if you love putting chips in a bottle with toothpicks and it lights you up while you do it and you're giddy, people will love to see the spontaneous joy. I noticed even in your voice, your cadence when I was listening to you. He's like, oh, fuck, he's frustrated right now. I could tell you'd have like a tough guest or something. And I could hear you steering yourself back and steering the boat back and putting things on the right shelf and you were trying to get the room back. Because some of the ones I used to listen to at the beginning, it got crazy. It did. And you were really good. And I was like, oh, shit, this guy's smart. Like he nicely, without telling this person to go F themselves, to go sit. But that, you know who does that the best? Tim Brown.
He's a master.
Oh my God. And he can have so much sewage come at him and he still contains himself. That is a skill set. The other skill set that I'm seeing in you now is, even just as the second time we do this, you're becoming more and more okay in your skin. That is the greatest gift you can give yourself. That hit you. That hit you there. I got you. Ding. So what was it about that you liked?
I really appreciated the acknowledgement of just the little snippet of what was a personal truth for me, but it seemed like it really resonated for you as well. That the only way I could get through doing shows to 0 people every day for an hour is by changing the rules I had about going into the rules of engagement, which was so I see people that, or my mindset was, oh, I want to grow the show. I want to, like, that's where I was measuring growth and where I saw value. But I said, wait a second. If I can go through a show by myself and develop my speaking skills, develop my skill to navigate my thoughts with no other person to pass the ball with, do that in a meaningful way. There's a skill being developed here. I'm going to show up to grow me instead of just showing up to grow the show, which I felt control coming back into my hands. And what ended up happening was one person did show up one day and we had a 3-hour chat. And then the next day they showed up again. And one of the guests, one of the people they brought in from their network was Sarah.
Oh, see, and that was the beginning. That was the first step. Now, was that divinely placed, do you think? Do you think that was orchestrated in some way, or was it just a beautiful coincidence?
I think that all coincidence has some level of intention to it. I think that it means something to me to see it from an intentional point of view. And I do think, because no one wanted, Michael, you know how many people I was messaging to, hey, let's work, let's do a show together. And then here I finally commit. I say, no one wants to work with me because I have a small account. That's fine. I'm going to do it. Instead of growing the show, I'm going to focus on growing me and just showing up for the mission. And then Sarah comes along and my account size didn't matter.
Yeah.
My network didn't matter. She was passionate about the content and exploring personal philosophy. And eventually we did a show together and we both really enjoyed it and continued to, she wanted to say, hey, I want to be co-host for the show whenever you need. I was like, okay, well, next week, let's go. So it really was a blessing. I think it was, Michael.
So I just looked at the little window, and from my window, we have 98 people.
That is.
And that's just on Twitter.
Well, I will say that it does do it's cumulative, not concurrent, but I still think it's a valuable metric.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It is, but if you're on, I'll explain it to you later off air.
Okay.
I'm going to explain something to you later.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to piss off people, so I'm just going to be good. Maria, thank you. Maria, you've made so many comments here. We appreciate you.
Yes, I've been showcasing her here, and she says that
I didn't notice until I looked, and I'm just like, thank you. Thank you for being here. And this is what people should do. And I harp on this all the time. Carl, I came on because I like you.
Thank you.
That was the sole reason I came on. I was like, I've been there. And, when I was doing HAPS, there were mornings, seriously, it was 6:00 in the morning. And my audience was usually people from England, Scotland, Ireland. And we had 500 to 1,000 people on a normal day. And there were mornings where I was just like, I fucking don't want to do this. I can't handle these idiots. I couldn't do it. And this voice went, no, I've committed to this. Let's just trust. Maybe somebody will help me. Please, somebody help me today, because I can't do it myself today. I just don't have it to carry it. And I just didn't. And I swear to God, within 5 minutes, I had 5 people that were complete idiots on who were having the time of their life. Tony, Love you, Tony. Tony, you should come up. Tony is one of the individuals in my life when I needed someone to help me co-host. Do you know Tony? Tony is one of the best broadcasters I've ever met. I remember the first time I met him, he scared the shit out of me. He was so intense. He literally scared me. I was like, I don't know if I want to be in that room with him because he was so animated. And I sat down with him one day and I went, you got to soften a bit, just a bit. And he did. And now he's brilliant. Not enough people say that, but he is brilliant. And he can go in any room and he can bring light. And not many people, like, he's gone into my spiritual rooms just to screw with me. Right. And he knows that the people are wackadoodle to him. Like, they're just nuts. But he'll go in and he's cordial and he'll talk to them and he's engaging. And within minutes, people love him. Guess who else has that ability? He's right beside me, right here. Wait, so this way. You have that same ability. People want to help you. So
I'm grateful for that.
I don't know how you develop that. You have a level of integrity. I hope you end up being a little bit nutty like me, and a little bit like our dear friend. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes,
that would be wonderful. And I think you can learn from different people. I've learned a lot from Tony. I used to do shows and everything had to be perfect. I was like you. And Tony would go, it doesn't matter, Michael. They're here. What are you doing? Stop. He would tell me off camera. He goes, the chaos is why they come. They love the chaos. They love the crazy. Like, I guarantee when people watch this, they'll watch Simone, you and I, and I'm asking you the question about how do you spend 8 hours with someone, right? People love that. Pay attention to your notifications.
Hey, Tony, I'm eyes on those things. I appreciate you. And it sounds like you are a virtuoso at what you do. Appreciate you stopping by. It really does mean a lot. And we've also got some Maria. She says it's a labor of love to host spaces, lives, and any kind of broadcasting. It's a challenge to check the chat while also speaking quality words. You know, it really is, especially doing this from my phone, I think would be I have multiple monitors, so that really helps me.
Tony wants to come up.
Thing together. Okay, so only you, Michael, can post to your chat.
Oh, so you can't see his chat?
So I can see what he's saying, but I can't reply to him. Only you can send a message to your audience.
Okay. So you sent me the link, so I can send him the link, right? I've got it. So I'll do that. Is that okay with you? Am I overstepping boundaries?
No, let's bring him in.
World, get ready. We got Tony D coming. We hope. I can hear you though. Him and I know each other. He's just like, just stop. You're being, he's funny. He wants to come up though. I know him. So okay, I will find it here. There you are with your hat. We got to lose your hat head here. Okay, because you're not the hat head man anymore.
No one will recognize me without the beanie. It's become part of my brand. And Maria says, I'm on X. I don't see Tony's comments. That's true, Maria, because we're on StreamYard right now, and we've got the comments from X. We got the comments from X, YouTube, and Twitch. Also from the guest destination, we've got Michael streaming to his YouTube network, which is where we're finding Tony D. And I'm curious, Michael, are you able to see the combined chat?
Yeah, I think I can.
So you see the comments from X and on YouTube?
No, I don't. No, I don't see that.
Okay.
It's not letting me comment here. Why is it doing that?
Maria, are you suggesting we have Justin R. French in the house? Is it streaming to my X page too since I shared it? It is, Maria. In the quote post that you made, the live stream is right there. And I really appreciate you sharing with the people. It means a lot that you hear the conversation at hand, see the people on the stage, and you say, I think more people should be hearing this. Appreciate you,
nice.
Maria.
Thank you. It's being difficult here. Oh, I got it now. I got it. Okay. It's not letting me copy stuff.
That's odd.
My computer's doing weird stuff here. Just one sec.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got Maria with the repost saying, yes, look at Carl go. Honor the quest. Michael and Simone, it was fun to see you on the screen too. Maria, we gotta connect. We still got that upcoming space. Maria just shared it to both her community page and straight to your page itself. Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about, Michael, when I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Seeing the impact we have reflected through other people. It means a lot to me that Maria's really going out of her way to share what's going on, share the broadcast.
Because she cares. And that's what I'm saying is you have that rare ability to have people want to engage with you. So is he still here? Okay. So if I put it, I'm just having problems here. No
worries. With greater expansion, we expect a little more complicated problems. It comes with the terrain.
Does it?
But we're suited to deal with them, to traverse. I do have my eyes peeled for when Tony joins on the stage. But yeah, Maria, once I get my calendar set up, would love to get you booked in. I know we had plans for doing a collaborative space. I would love to co-host with you on your Vibrations of Positivity community. So get me in the DMs whenever you're done. I know you're out and about. We'd love to.
I just saw us on my page. So I sent it. It's actually in your chat here. I put it in my YouTube here. So Tony, it's right there, the call-in link. If you want to click it, you can find it easily on mine. So just click, because he will never find you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we get the whole world, at least you can go, nope.
What would be incredible would be if we could get a point in technology where we put the link on the stream where people could just press the screen and not have to deal with this platform navigation thing. So
you don't want that.
I just wanted to bring that up.
That took a long time.
Carl, how you doing? So good to meet you.
Hey, Tony D. The random multi-broadcaster. It's so good to have you here and really appreciate you sharing some time with us today. I can't resist asking you the topic to start out this conversation.
Let's go. This is your show. Let's go.
We would love to know, what's one thing that you're feeling grateful for today?
One thing? I normally have three.
Okay. Hit us with the three.
You just want one of them.
We'd love to hear all three.
Friends, family, and opportunity off the rip every day. Every day. You got to have family. Be positive with family, or even if you don't have family, you have friends. Once you have those two, you feel the need to do something with yourself, what gives you, and you start looking for opportunities. I've been able to capitalize. So I count myself grateful, specifically.
Hey, I love that philosophy. I could tell you've got that hierarchy going. And they're all interconnected, which is something that I noticed and I also appreciate. I don't think, whenever I've done my list, I don't think I've woven them in the same way that you've done.
Mm-hmm. Mike used to ask me this all the time 3 years ago. I would always say something here. I would always have something different. And it all came down to my family making sure I was raised straight, my friends keeping me out of trouble, and opportunities that came my way for me to be able to be where I am today. All of that did intertwine, because you got to make each one proud of the other. It's sort of like my own system of checks and balances. And I try to keep all of them all the time. It's actually one of my weaknesses. Just like the government, you got to check everything out. They don't always agree. Sometimes things don't always go into play, but you still got to keep it going to keep yourself grounded and realize something's stronger than you, something's higher than you, something's more powerful than you. It's not all just you. Where did you get it from? Those are three of the main areas that I remember all the time.
Tony and I used to say that we could talk about nothing for hours.
We can, and we have. There's plenty of proof.
Yeah, we did that. I was telling him about the karaoke where I begged you to take it down and how bad it was. And you disagreed with me until you watched it.
He was right. I'm going to tell everybody that he was right, because I told him leave it up because we had so much fun. But when you watch the replay, the audio was off and we were global singing the same song. It was horrible. But we all knew the same song. We all sang it the same. It blew my mind talking to people around the world. Same language, same song. I didn't realize how much so many of us were similar, if you will. And most people don't know that before the internet, we weren't interacting internationally. So I got something out of the time we had on Haps, and I keep harping on the people are tired of me talking about it, but I met a lot of people after I met Mike. I met a couple of people before him, but the following and the friends magnified after I started talking with him on the regular, and he brought up the karaoke when I said, yeah, I'll do it for fun. We had 1,000 people watching us every episode. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was great. We became a little ego though for a while. We were a little out of control. Yes, we did.
You did.
You did. So, you did more. He had all these women in there talking to him, and
that's what he says.
And they were fighting amongst each other, and it wasn't just one chick, as you.
That's what he says. Don't fall for that.
No, it's true. And then, but one of the things that I noticed in Carl has that patience that Tim Brown has.
He sounds professional.
Yeah.
Not being disrespectful, but you have a strong professional, careful with your words so your point's not misinterpreted aspect about yourself. I do get that. It's a little bit of a technological background that I see. Most of the guys who are computer programmers, information technology, behind the scenes or anything computer, you sound like that, but tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be rude and sound crazy with it.
Hey, I won't deny that I'm maybe technologically adept. Technologically inclined.
You hear the vocabulary? My point's made. My point is made.
But that's something that I cherish, because when it comes to like being detail oriented, I think it really comes from having a passion for detail. Like one thing that stood out for me with what you said, Tony, was the philosophy you had on your friends. Like I noticed like that was a really big contrast there with, because I often hear people saying their friends are the ones that get them into trouble. But you flip the script. You say, I want my friends. They're the ones that are keeping me out of, you specifically said keeping you out of trouble, which seemed to be, now going by your expression, maybe you do have a few troublemakers, but
I was one of them.
You were one of them.
We were old school, and I'm older, so you gotta forgive me, but we had a thing where if we got in trouble, we don't get caught. That's why I say we kept ourselves out of trouble. That's the contrast. You're actually correct, but that's the contrast.
Tony, can you tell them what you're doing for a living now, and your background and what you do? It's kind of interesting. I think people would like to know.
I'm a retired Air National Guardsman, former F-16 aircraft mechanic. I used to work hydraulic, pneumatic systems, and fuel systems. Currently, I'm a civil service aircraft mechanic on F-15s, launch recovery, disassemble, reassemble, inspection, engine installation, all of that. I've been doing that about 13 years now. I'm retired from the Guard 9 years ago, and I did 20 years there.
Yeah. And you're a dad?
Yes, father too. biologically. I got a stepdaughter, so she's the third, but she's married with a family now, so she's grown and gone. She told me, I'm gone. I said, okay, as long as you're good.
But yeah, Tony has a spontaneous joy, and he was really good for me at the beginning. We were talking earlier about going on knowing that there was no audience at the beginning and just doing reps to get good and getting comfortable on being on air. And he kind of reprogrammed his mind on the way he previewed it. He was working on himself. It was an investment in him. And if he didn't get people coming in, he didn't care. It was like this was.
You're right. When I first got up here, you're right. And Mike actually gave me a lot of pointers. He was one of many on that platform that was giving me pointers on how to broadcast and to take this more seriously, because I didn't at first. I was just shooting the proverbial.
No, you were scary. You keep saying
I didn't care. I didn't care. It was social media. Why am I going to care about people on the computer I'm never going to see, who are never going to find me, can't see me? I don't care. But Mike was like, listen, you can do this. This can be a brand. I said, okay, we'll take a shot at it. I didn't realize how many people were taking this seriously, Carl. I do want to tell you that. I met him 3 years ago. Mike was showing me how to do something with it. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever, because this isn't going to pay what I make. But I started seeing people were taking it very serious and they were getting a following. I found it interesting. This is a childhood hobby for me, because in high school, I took television communication and production at vocational school. I had a ball with it. I've always wanted to do some type of television, movie, radio for fun, and then hopefully it will grow. So this has been fun and an asset for me. Definitely during the pandemic, if you will, when people were home and we was all on the computer, I learned so much from people that I talked to around the world. I had an absolute, if you could watch some of the replays and listen to those conversations, oh my God. Jay Money's in the house. Here we go.
I'm assuming this is the man. Jason NYC saying, hey guys, huge fan, first time watcher and caller.
Yeah, I told him I was coming over here. That's why he popped up. We know who that is. But no, this can be fun. This can be entertaining. And if you want the truth, whatever you do up here is going to resonate forever. So make sure you deliver your message properly. We all make mistakes on how we say things. Some of us do things for fun, and after a while, we're like, "Oh damn! Hey, Nursey, how you doing?"
Oh no way! Nursey's in the house! Yay!
And I just told them I was over here because we was on the canteen, so I got to jump up. Mike is on. But Carl, I don't know how long you've been doing this. Make sure you get something out of it. Make sure your audience can relate. Make sure your audience can grow from what it is you say and however it is what you do. And you will see things fall into place. I'm actually having a better year, or at least that I've seen with the broadcast that I do. I'm getting a kick out of it. This is fun to me.
Yes.
This is fun to me. If I retire, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't even have to be up here every day, but just every now and then to do something that the world can relate to. And let me know if I'm talking too much. I just came up here as a guest. I know y'all was.
No, we were driving each other crazy. So that's good. You know, he was ready to shoot me anytime. So I thought I'd bring you up, and you could dance and keep us entertained, and you're doing that. So
I'll give you a conversation we used to do, Carl. The pandemic was the biggest issue 4 years ago. 3 years ago, it was still a conversation. What I would do outside of talking sports and entertainment and current events, if we talked about the pandemic, we would meet people from around the world. We would ask them what their aspect of what was going on that we may not have heard on the news. Priceless. India, England, Scotland, Australia, Canada, the Netherlands, Sweden. We was getting it. It was phenomenal.
Oh, it was crazy. Haps had us connected to Europe. My biggest audience was in Europe. ER Nurse, I love you back, hon. You know that. I do.
You know, Tony, I got to say that I almost feel ashamed of myself for using the word technologically inclined in the presence of someone who is working on these engines, fighter aircraft mechanic. I mean, technologically inclined, attention to detail. I mean, you seem to be the definition of that. If we look that up in the dictionary, we'd find just a headshot of you sitting there.
Listen,
Tony D.
Don't hold me to that standard on everything. I've had to learn it, but it gets crazy after a while.
But Tony D, though, is one of these people that doesn't present as better than. He is one of these people. Our biggest fights used to be because he would defend idiots. And I would be like, let them go. and he was like, no, this is part of the family.
Yes.
And he'd forgive them, and I'd want to shoot them, and he would forgive them, and I'd want to shoot them. And it would get to a point where I couldn't talk to him for a while because I felt like he was choosing them over me. And what I later found was he wasn't going to play the game. He wasn't going to let somebody, including myself, dictate who was going to be in his life.
Because people wouldn't allow me to do that. So I let everybody be. Once again, if you're broadcasting and you're global, you want the largest audience possible. You want the largest following possible. How do you cut anybody out from that? What you don't want is any negativity. And you always want somebody who's contributory to the conversation, period. Either they're enjoying it or they contribute to it. Because anything we don't like, we don't watch. And you want more people to pay attention to what you do, or at least contribute to what you're doing to help improve what it is you're trying to get across. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple for me.
Do you know what you forgot to do?
What's that?
Because you forgot to send love to Donika. Because she sends love. We send love out to her all the time.
Hey, Donika.
Donika read him one time on her show.
Really?
And he got quiet. He doesn't get quiet. It's impossible to get him to go quiet.
No, it's not possible to stop him.
And I was like, oh wow.
Nursey. Thank you. I do, Nursey. She knows this.
Oh, see, that's so true. Tony has everyone's heart and mind. So if he felt like we were taking advantage of you, then it's just like he was saying a second ago, we're known to hijack things. So if you feel like we're hijacking, we'll leave.
That's why I stopped. I caught myself. I made my point and I'm done.
No, I appreciate y'all. And this is part of doing a show. I mean, y'all know this. Part of doing the show is people come to the watch because of the culture of the people, like where the conversation goes, like the conversation that we can go down.
You lost your audio. Okay, what happened? Your audio went out for a second right after you said the way the conversation goes down.
Yeah, you're good now.
Mic check.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks for the mic check there.
I think your energy got high.
Maybe this mic is just. I see a red light going where it should be green. Is this thing overheating?
It might be.
You know what it might be?
Just keep me posted on how the audio sounds.
High energy will affect electronics. No kidding. Look it up. You might have been overamping there for a second, and you're refining the circuitry. Look at Tony going. Michael is shoving it so fast, I can't even keep it up.
I'll see what I can do about overloading this mic. And I just want to say hello to ER Nursey.
Stop the comments right there and just finish what you're saying, please.
Okay, good deal.
You spelled San Diego wrong. Keep going what you're saying.
Part of being a host is navigating where the trajectory is, because there's certain conversations, like I might pull up a tweet critique here where we bring up something that caught my eye on the feed and we sort of do a review of that, just share our thoughts. And the minds that are in the room here with us will have a different, it's sort of like when they got that Petri dish in the science labs, like different combinations are going to grow different things. And part of navigating conversations as a host is sometimes you just got to let the rabbit hole, like just free fall down the rabbit hole. And like hearing about what you were saying, well, you got to be careful.
Your guests need to respect your platform, and the conversation needs to go at your pace.
Jason, I'm saying hi, and I'm not a racist.
Go ahead, Carl.
What I say is, as long. Thank you, Tony. What I say is, it's got to be on theme.
Yes.
It can be. We can move through different topics as long as it's on theme. You know, for me, my show is personal philosophy. Anything about the navigating the inner world, doing things. Hey.
Talk. Just keep talking. Just follow me. Talk to me. I got them.
Hey, we'll take you off stage. We're not doing any of that, Michael.
No, he was saying I had an alien on my shirt as a guitar.
Oh God.
Where did you think I was going?
Carl, stay talking to me, Carl.
We did not have a good crop shot of that, but
work with me, Carl.
Tony, would love to know your thoughts. We know when you're hosting a show.
Yes.
Do you have because because I have kind of a parameter where I can sense when it's sort of going, we're not longer in the theme. Like I see it as like an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Everything under that, we can stay in on those topics. But once it goes off theme, then you sort of got to reel it in. How do you navigate as a multi-broadcaster yourself, navigating the theme and when to reel it in?
You keep it cool and try not to let anything distract your focus, regardless of what it is. I actually had to do I did a broadcast 3 years ago. You ever watch Baywatch?
I've heard of it. I've seen commercials. One
of the actresses on Baywatch, she was a guest of mine. One of the guys that hooked it up for me to do an interview for her.
Really?
Yes. It was a big thing. The word got out. Everybody said we wanted to be there. So we set it up. Everybody that I was following came on. They even brought some of their folks. Huge night for me. And I'm going to say for me on purpose. That was one of the biggest nights on that platform for me because I never thought I would ever get to that level. But he had asked me, would you ever do an interview? I said, absolutely. I'll do an interview with no problem. He had seen me conversate with everybody. He wanted me to do it. I said, okay, cool. She came on. We talked for 4 hours, literally. Tracy Bingham on Baywatch. She came up there. Everybody in the chat was supporting.
She was wonderful. She was wonderful.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. She was phenomenal.
She was kind.
We had a lot going on in the chat. I actually told people, so listen, I may not be able to see the chat because I'm going to be focusing on what I'm doing. But if I miss something, y'all handle it for me. They were like, cool. That's why I missed that community so much. They was right there with me. It was my biggest night, honestly. It really was my biggest night. She actually came back. We did another 4 hours. It was phenomenal. So you have to maintain your focus, not let the comments distract you, not let anything in your background bother you. But she was so cool because she was at home and she got comfortable and relaxed. She told me to get comfortable and relaxed. I said, I didn't want to do an interview. I wanted to be more of a conversation. She was totally down. We just wound up talking. And then I would bring people up and let them Q&A with her and everything. I told everybody to keep it cool. I told every last one of them, I'm bring you on camera. But the minute you say something stupid, I got my finger on the button and drop it. I really did, but it was fun. It was fun. I actually got it saved. I don't have the comments saved, but I got the broadcast saved. It was a conversation, really, more than the interview, but it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. That was a big night for me. You have to finish your presentation. One of the guys that I met on Periscope who brought me to HAPS, he used to do broadcasts. He would do his 2 hours, check the comments here and there, but he always did his whole presentation, and then afterwards he would do the Q&A. His show would go for 2 hours because people was conversating, Q&A and what he said. He had himself so together. He was able to handle everybody. It was phenomenal. So I learned some of that from him. I learned from Mike, keep your focus. Don't worry about nothing else. And if anything else bothers you, don't worry about it, just remove. That's what Mike used to teach me. I used to teach Mike, don't get mad at any and everybody. Don't be so absolute with everything and your audience will grow. So me and Mike were really teaching each other on broadcast.
Yeah. Well, no, he was really good when it was chaotic. Because I was like you, I wanted everything to be right. Everything had to be in the right place. It would drive me crazy if the sound wasn't right or my microphone was. And he was like, none of it matters. They don't give a shit. Now, I do notice they're saying Carl's good looking. I saw, and I would agree. He's got kind of that Dexter feel.
See how I ignored all that and just stayed on focus, Carl? That's my point.
No, I hear you, Tony. You got the skills.
We're talking about our audience. We're nothing without our audience. And we have to meet the needs. And if they feel that there is some kind of sex appeal with Carl, then we have to embrace that and enjoy it and celebrate it here together.
Well, as Tony's philosophy indicates, you don't want to satisfy all the needs. You don't need to satisfy every need that the audience has.
Easy, Jay. Wasn't going to tell nobody that, Jay. Don't do that.
He just pulled the train out of the station.
Okay. So, how do you say, Tony? It sounds like you are much more geared for navigating a conversation in a conversational format as opposed to pulling up with a list of questions pre-scripted. But what's the behind the scenes look like for you?
I can do both. Anytime you have a guest, you should be somewhat prepped. For her, I knew a little bit of a background. I didn't do a whole lot of digging because I wasn't going to probe her. I didn't spend the last more than 30 minutes. And I really wanted to let the guests, sometimes when they come on, they got something they want to say, give them the floor. and you can go 15 minutes your way, 15 minutes theirs, and be done in 30 minutes max. Most celebrities want to shoot the proverbial instead of going through the standard Q&A that they always got to go through in public. So I let them be. My thing for her was going to be let her be herself, let her express herself. Anything she wanted to get off her chest, go. And she felt comfortable with that. She was like, she wanted to go grab a glass of wine. I said, go ahead. She said, you want to have something? I said, I'll tell you what, you get a glass of wine, I'll go grab a beer. She was like, cool. We got our drinks. It was on.
And I think it's important to be able to go off the cuff like that. When I see people, like there was someone that was in talks with collaborating with, and it was scripted, like to the T, whereas there was no room for like, okay, we're not going to go off of this. We're just going to go through these questions. And there was no room for.
Most people got to constrict the time frame.
Which is fine.
Yes, and I didn't have one. I understand exactly what you're saying. Like when you see the news interviews, we got to do this in 10 minutes. Here's the questions. Get as many as you can, but let them answer. I don't have those restrictions.
Carl, you should answer ER nurse here. She's being polite.
ER nurse. Let's see.
And she was asking you about what school you went to. And she even said here, I'm being serious and polite. Are you not seeing these comments?
The comments are stacked up, but I'm listening to Tony here about keeping it.
He was asking, what college did you graduate from?
Keeping it narrow.
And it also says here, Carl has his act together, and I agree.
Hey, I appreciate that. It's nice to know that I'm putting on a good front.
We got Sweet Pea here.
Yeah, Sweet Pea's here. Hey, Sweet Pea, how you doing?
Aww.
So I went to Lone Star over here in Houston, Texas.
No way. Is that where you're from?
Houston, Texas. That's me.
Do you have a gun? I thought everybody in Texas had a gun.
People may or may not find out, depending on the circumstances.
Oh, I
Great
love
answer.
it. Oh, yeah.
That's a straight Texas answer.
I appreciate you telling me.
That was very good. Come and
Cash
find
flow.
out.
Good to see you. Sweet Pea, good to see you later. Hope everything is well. Sweet Pea is also one of the other people that used to be with us on the other platform.
Yes. Sweet Pea is one of the kindest souls that we ever encountered. She tried to be a peacekeeper. ER nurse used to stir it sometimes, which I loved.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she was good. But I've always been known to stir the pot. Call me. What
Sweet
are
Pea
you doing?
hit me up. Sweet Pea hit me up. You ain't reading the comments, Mike. Stop playing.
Yeah, this is what he used to do. Call me.
I tell people, get in touch with me. Yes, not so much call me because she ain't got my number. I know that's my way of saying message me because I see what she said. And I gave her some advice a couple of weeks ago. So, Sweet Pea, if you remember what I told you a couple of weeks ago, if not, let me know. I can tell you what will help. Because a couple of things that did help me out.
All right, so we're going to go into the next segment here. I want to, who's ready to give advice for the men out there? Because I saw something earlier this week that really I have strong opinions on.
Let me go get my drink. I'm going to give you 30
okay, so Tony's getting locked in. I like this. He's taking this seriously.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, you know what? In the future depends on it. The men need to know the truth, and here we go.
Okay.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Hey, cheers.
Non-alcoholic.
Oh, is that cherry?
Yes.
He's got that cherry Pepsi going on.
Yes.
Let's see here. We're going to pull it up on the screen share. I wonder how it's going to orchestrate the cameras here. Let's check this out.
Okay.
If you can't see it, just ask, and I'm ready when you are.
So we're about to move into a segment called Tweet Critique. I'm going to pull up something that caught my attention on the feed this week. And
I dropped something. I'm still listening, though. Go ahead.
Okay, no worries. I like how it shows their picture, and it's got the waveform when they're talking. I really like that about this platform. But we're going to bring up here. So here it is. This is Nick Gray. He has a book on hosting how to host a cocktail party, 2 hours for networking, meeting friends, making connections. And this is something that he posted. He frequently posts about going on dates and maybe his philosophies on that. And here he says, men, you need to make talking points and discussion topic lists for your dates. So this week he had a date with a woman named Lauren, and this is what he wrote. Now, and even in the comments, he says that he actually has the list with him on the date and will check things off. And before I say anything, Tony, I already see you nodding. I would love to hear your thoughts. What's your initial impression?
Sound like he's doing too much.
Okay, so he's doing too much.
It sounds like it. If you have to come with that much of a Q&A for a date, I dare say what's going on with you. And I'll say that myself because like I said, I'm older. Everything is, what's your name? Where you from? What do you do for your living? Are you married? Do you have kids? What are your future plans? What do you stuff like that. All of this right here, this is a lot. And maybe it's because I'm old fashioned. And I admit I'm old fashioned. That's a lot. But keep going, please.
I completely agree with you. I think that this is if you have to have a list, you're ignoring all of the, like, there's so much in the situation. Like, if you want a grounded conversation, there was someone on a previous show talking about navigating between an interview feeling date, like a date that feels like an interview versus one that feels like a real connecting conversation. Here's the difference. This list, this right here, this is going to make it feel like an interview because what you're bringing to the table has nothing to do with what's going on, them. I mean, what their credit score is. I mean, I thought he was trolling until I read the comments.
If you want the truth, women do that.
Really? Well, maybe for different reasons.
Yeah, they're trying to see if you're worth it or not.
Yeah. So even if you're a woman, you got to ask these questions.
What's the last one? Enlighten me. What does that mean?
Magnet collection. So someone who collects magnets. Now,
does this have some kind of weird, twisted sexual thing I don't know about? What does that mean?
I think it's just a strange hobby that they're passionate about.
It's a fetish? I'm going to look it up.
It very well might be.
Okay.
You got the clamps and you got the magnets. And you get two magnets and you can get a clamp. So just putting it out there for the people curious.
But magnets, right, are opposite fields, right? That's what draws them to connect.
Give me a second. Jay, that's not my credit score. That's your IQ. Keep going, please. Thank you.
Indeed.
and what's story about James? What does that mean?
No one knows. That's something that only Nick knows. But the point here is that I go into a date with no questions.
Me neither.
When I'm talking about the restaurant. I'm going to mention something about what she's wearing that catches my attention. Maybe she's wearing something in her hair. Maybe
the beauty, the way you carry yourself, how you look, your conversation. Damn it, your hygiene. You know what I'm saying?
A woman will feel grounded in the conversation when it starts. You can use that as a foundation, but it needs to have a foundation. You can't just go right into, for example, if you want to talk about books, you can't just right off the cuff. You're in the middle you're in a restaurant having a dinner and just put books on the table as a question. Oh, what's your book collection look like? That might sound,
if I may.
Yes.
There are people who are into that. Book clubs, a lot of reading, literature. And I only say that because there are people like that. Like a lot of people used to go to these speaking events, spoken word things, that whole neo soul movement, if you will. There was a lot of that going on. This is mainly about different interests that I'm seeing. So you don't know which focus you want to have on that date, but it's not necessarily aggressive as much as it is more inquisitive. And some people aren't this open. That's why I kind of say this is doing too much. You should meet somebody, see what the vibe is before you even get started with this. In my opinion.
I agree with you, Tony.
Yes.
Because if I get to a table and a woman brings out a checklist, I'm already uncomfortable because I know that
I'm not uncomfortable. I can't wait. Depends on the questions afterwards. Depends on the question afterwards. I don't mind the Q&A. Women are going to have those questions to us.
Mm-hmm.
So Carl and Tony.
Yes.
I looked up the magnet thing.
God help me.
So I was at one of those nerdy show things, Fan Expo, and there were tables that had just magnets, and it's collecting nerdy stuff. So it's people, like if you're into Star Wars memorabilia, or if you're into anime stuff, or the travels of where you've been throughout your life. You know what? I don't think this is a terrible question here. What's on your Spotify playlist? I think that says a lot about your personality, if you're sensitive or not, like, the depth of your character. And I think asking someone about the reading material, that says a lot about where they are mentally. Like if I was to look at your book collection and look at Tony's, it might be very different. And
it's going to be. I don't have one.
And that's what I'm saying.
Tony is the book.
I don't have a Spotify list either. Next.
So I think, so if you want to really ground the Spotify one, like, hey, what did you listen to on the way here? Assuming you didn't pick her up. Or maybe you can, in the car, if you do pick her up.
First date, you probably didn't pick her up. That's a great question.
So you can ground that. It makes it connected to the present situation when you say, what Spotify playlist did you pull up on the way here? What are you jamming?
I scare people when I tell them my answers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, listen to a lot of. I'm an East Coast hip hop guy, so yes, I didn't come in with Luther Vandross. I probably pulled up with Dipset or Boot Camp clip or something.
Okay.
But you do like Atlantic Star, and you like Anita Baker, and you like Luther Vandross.
I might pull up listening to Catch a 4-Leaf Clover or Silver Shadow, or maybe there's a little.
You like Toto Africa, right?
Yeah, I did like Toto Africa. Yeah, I might walk in the door.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, Carl. Go ahead, please.
Oh, no worries. But just saying that grounding, you can bring almost anything to the table if it's grounded in. You can connect it to what's going on around you.
Are we doing dating advice here, Carl? Is this what this is? Dating advice with Carl on a Tuesday night or a Monday night?
Yeah, of course. I mean, here we have Nick Gray talking about men need to bring talking points, bring a grocery list.
I'm glad
where they should be.
How old is Nick Gray, first of all?
For a lot of guys who don't know how to have a conversation.
I'm going to look up Nick Gray and figure him out. Okay.
What's crazy is a lot of people in this generation, they know how to text message. They don't know how to talk face to face. I've heard that a lot. Some of these kids don't know how to carry much of a conversation. Take care, Nursey.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here. And you know what? You've enriched your life meeting our new friend here. Everyone, please embrace him, except for Jason. Okay.
Appreciate you, Nursey. Sweet. The bug-eyed heart. I haven't seen that emoji before, but that looks awesome.
Rick Costa, what's going on? I ain't even know you was here, man. How you doing?
Rick Costa,
yes, this is absolutely.
He's quite the broadcaster himself, by the way.
Yes, he is. Rick Costa broadcasts every day religiously, spiritual, religious broadcasts.
If you ever want a cool guest without us, bring him up.
Yeah, he's pretty neutral.
Duly noted.
Yeah, he's pretty neutral.
No, he's awesome. I'm
the wild card. He's pretty neutral.
He'll bring peace to any room. He really will.
He tries. People got to listen, just like me.
Yeah, you don't bring peace. You're a disruptor, brother.
Okay,
listen. We got to get back to the rotisserie chicken. Go ahead. Sorry, Carl.
Stop interrupting him.
So let's do a vote. Bringing a list of topics on your date. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Yay.
Nay.
Yay.
I'm going to say nay.
I'd say yay, but not these ones. But I wouldn't have it as a sheet. I'd have it in my head. I'd have it as a Rolodex in my head of things to talk about, because there's nothing worse than you're not talking to each other.
Yes, there is nothing worse than that.
So you got to know how to keep the flow going. Now, Tony knows how to keep the flow going, don't you, Tony?
I keep the flow going with the people who want to have one going. Sometimes you go on a date, they don't say much. Very uncomfortable. If you're not a conversationalist, I get it. If you're just hungry, okay, cool. You just want to grab a drink, no problem. You just want to be social, great. That's why you can't go on first dates with expectations.
But Carl, you have really intense energy. You do, even though you're quiet. Like I think some people would be intimidated by you.
You think so?
I know so.
Damn.
And I don't think it's any fault of your own. I just think it's the way you're wired. Right? Where Tony and I could be the life of the party the first night, and the second night they want to kill us.
Depends.
Where with you, I think could wear people down. They would really like you. You know what I mean? Once they got to know you and understood you, I think you'd have better longevity.
I don't know.
Do you agree with that, Tony?
I hate Jay. I'm sorry, Jay. I hate you.
Is Jay being terrible?
I hate you. He's been working there for the past 30 minutes. I really hate you. It depends on who you're with and where you're at. It's an environment thing. It's an environment thing, and then it's a vibe. That's
Kevin
how you dates go.
Samuels. Okay.
You can't create the vibe. You can try to create the environment, but you cannot create the vibe. And first impressions do matter. What you shouldn't do, this goes to all of us, we shouldn't judge. Most of us are on the defensive based on what we went through previously, but you still got to be open, because you never know below the surface who somebody really is. And I've met some beautiful women in my life I never thought were. As time went on and they opened up, I found out more. And some of them I've even realized a mistake I may have made or did make. There are some people you will vibe with, you don't realize it, because they got to keep a guard up to protect themselves. The minute you open yourself up to somebody, people know how to take advantage of you. That makes you vulnerable. That's why so many people are on the defensive. That's why lists like this happen. Number one, your vulnerability, and two, to know what either doors to open or what doors to walk through.
Yeah,
that's just my experience, though.
Yeah, did you know this Nick Gray guy has a book called The 2-Hour Cocktail Party?
Never heard of him.
And his slogan on here is Nick Gray, How to Make Friends. I'm like you, going, this is nutty, and you can upload this. I'm looking at his site right now. He has 49,000 followers. He has 2 books. He's super modest. He says here, a very handsome author. Boost your career. Learn the perfect party formula. How to make new friends and build big relationships. Okay, so I'm gonna follow him. I want to see what kind of silliness comes out of his mouth in the future. We might have some new content in the future.
Yeah, it's a good source of content, because he's strongly opinionated on, like, for example, telling men I don't think that it's evil to do this, but I will say this. As a man, you need to be going into situations where you are the catalyst, where you don't need a list. You can react to the environment. And Tony, you seem like, especially when you were talking about the interview, which felt more like a conversation when you explained it.
Yes.
But you'll bring some pre-thought questions or ideas, a blueprint, but you're not drawing any red lines as far as where the conversation can go. You'll go down the rabbit holes, go off on the tangents. And I think that's where you need to be, especially when you're going on a date. A woman needs to know that you are going to be a catalyst in her life. And the best way to indicate that is to be a catalyst to your environment with her.
Carl,
Yes.
Big words, Carl. Huge vocabulary, Carl. Did you know that the average person probably does not know what catalyst means?
You're right. I should change that.
No, don't change
it. Stop it. They use that word in high school. Stop it.
Tony, okay. Tony, I'm trying to help him here.
I'm trying to help society. Pay attention to school. Keep going.
Pay attention in school.
I was trying to be a spelling bee champion. I will learn a bunch of words I don't remember right now.
So a catalyst is, just for those who might be curious, it is a substance that reacts to its environment. It doesn't, you don't need, it's got the change built into it. You don't need to like do this scripting thing, have this sort of bring lists. If you're a man who's a catalyst, if you're a man who is reactive, responsive to your environment, you don't need to go into, you're not worried about, you forgot your list and you're on a date. Oh, I forgot my list. That's not going to ruin your night.
Excuse me a second. Rick, that was hilarious. Jay, go take your meds. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Yes, good reminder there about taking the meds.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Keep going, please.
So we appreciate you, Tony, helping out the community, letting them know.
I got them. Finish please.
So that's my philosophy going into it is you need to be responsive to your environment. And this sort of strategy just tells me that he's not responsive to what's going on. He's got to have something pre-planned or it's going to fall apart.
He's trying to keep control of himself in the situation.
Do you think that's...
If you've got to come with all this, you don't know what you're walking into, and I get it. But that's too much. I wouldn't do this.
I think a lot of people would.
They might.
I think a lot of people, I think you guys are off the beat here. I think more and more people now are looking at relationships and their time as a very valuable asset. And they if you're not willing to answer a few questions, then you're not worth it. I think you can screw your chances of being with someone who's magnificent. But to some people, it's like, look, if you can't put up with my shortcomings with this, we don't have a chance anyways.
Well, here's the kicker, Mike. There's certain people, if you can't answer any one of those questions, they're done with you.
Oh yeah, especially like you were saying, women, like the credit score and a bunch of other things. I would agree with that. Yeah, but I think there was a song called "Gold Digger," wasn't there, back in the day?
There's quite a few songs. It was also My Last $2, The Cleanup Man.
Yeah, you know what my favorite one was? Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a job if you want to be with me.
Sorry, Sweet Pea, that one slip.
No honey without the money. I don't need no broke ass man. Yeah, with no plan.
Are you looking for one? Jesus Christ!
Oh my Lord. Okay, sorry, buddy.
Carl, this happens. I apologize.
No, it's an important discussion to be had because this is what people are dealing with, especially men in the dating world. And I want to say also, yes, you're going to be disqualified. Maybe if you don't have a list or you answer one of the questions in the wrong way.
Absolutely. Yes.
As a man, you do not want, the worst thing you could do is aim for 100% success rate because that means
really
you're malleable.
Really? Please elaborate.
So if a man is aiming, his goal is success rate, he'll conform to the situation. And if you're a man who's conforming to, for example, you're trying to impress her, so you're going to agree with her on something that maybe you don't. Or maybe you start twisting in ways. I say, speak your truth. And if she disqualifies you for that, let it be. But you want to find someone who...
Carl, there's a good point here.
Yes.
I think you're thinking too much into this. Sweet Pea said that. And
Sweet Pea, if I may, he's actually not wrong. And I'll tell you why once he finishes. Sorry, Mike.
No. Hey, we're allowed to interrupt. I just interrupted him. I just don't want them to feel like we don't care.
Exactly.
Because we do care. And I know Carl probably cares more than Tony and I combined.
But I like what he's saying. He's got a point. because it does happen. You try to be 100% of everything, and the first loss, you just destroy so much. He's actually correct with that. But you're supposed to, I'm not wrong. I know what I've been through. I'm sorry. I've been out here in this world. A lot of the women that I meet, one wrong thing and you're done. Some women will deal with you. Some women will get past it, but a lot do not. Any one thing and they move on. It's terrible out here in the dating world.
Mm.
And I tell everybody, a lot of the people in the chat know I was 2 weeks from turning 40 before I was married. So I was single a long time. I watched a lot of people. I'm divorced now. I see what's out there. There's some habits out there I'm not going to partake in. I'm not going to be a part of, and I don't even want to be around. So stuff like this does matter. It is too much, but like I said, I'm old-fashioned. It used to be, hey, how you doing? You want to meet up? We carry a normal conversation. Now it's a Q&A. What's your credit score? Where do you work at? Where do you live? What's your living condition? How many kids you got? Are you male or female? Were you born male or female? Were you born rich? You got all this right now.
Oh
You
yeah,
got all of this right now.
and are you fluid and all this other stuff? Are you homophobic? Are you like, yeah? It's a lot of strange stuff going on right now.
The single word. I've seen people talk about it. Being single out here today, and everybody's on speed dating. Everybody's on the internet. A lot of people aren't face to face.
True.
It's terrifying.
True.
What's out there? Right? And you can't go home with nobody because they might kill you. I
feel bad for Carl because he's young. He's still a young man. He's in his prime. You are in your prime, Carl. We are ending the end of the what do you call it? The runway, I guess, is the next way.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, but Carl, I have to go soon. I don't know about Tony, but Tony would probably be here till tomorrow.
No, I won't. I need to go get my daggone self, but I saw.
And then he would blame you at work, and then go, I met this guy named Carl.
Because Mike don't want to be done till he's done.
What does that mean?
It's what you do.
What am I doing?
You're not done until you're done. Once you're done, okay, goodbye, and you just run yourself out.
Oh yeah, that's so true. No, that's true. Yeah. I like to do stuff for about an hour.
Great topic, great conversation.
Great audience. Great audience.
I'm only coming up on the 30 minutes that I said I was going to give you, but this was phenomenal. I love what you were saying. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch this back because what you were saying about people trying to be 100% can cost them. That's actually true. A lot of married guys go 100% and they'll get divorced and don't know what happened. I'll confess. So I like what you were saying.
It's something I have here, Carl. You hit a nerve.
No, he didn't hit a nerve at all. He didn't hit a nerve at all. Some of the guys, once you get married, when you're serious, you go all in. And I respect all of those fellas. I mean, I work around family men. Mm-hmm. I've known family men the past 30 years of my life. They all took home serious. And it all hurt when something went wrong. The same way it hurts for women when something goes wrong. So what he was saying wasn't necessarily for the men. It could also go for the women. Some people go 100% into a relationship, and if it doesn't work, it tears them on the inside.
Statistically, though,
absolutely,
women leave more than men. You know that, right?
Women who?
Statistically, women leave relationships, marriages more than men.
Maybe recently. Recently.
No, they do. They leave.
Maybe recently.
Listen to it, Jesus.
No, seriously, because the education system teaches you men run around like crazy. History teaches you that. If women were doing it more than men, they've been lying to us our whole lives.
Tony, you're acting like the Messiah here. It's statistical.
Let me know if I got to come back down. I have my moments.
Okay.
You already told me I was wrong, so I'm trying to bring it down.
Can you tell us before you go where we can find you?
Before he goes, or before you have to go?
I don't know. I want you to plug where you're from, because people will watch this later. I guarantee you'll watch this, Carl. Especially this part.
Mike keeps 400 views. I promise they're going to watch this.
Shh, be quiet.
We appreciate you being here. And yeah, Tony, would love to know, where can people find you?
Mike knows where to find me. He was asking me for you. I didn't know if he was asking you or he was asking me.
I'm asking for the audience, the people listening on the playback, the people interested in learning more about your philosophies.
Well done. Yes. The Messiah.
Warning.
What's the
warning?
My
views are not Carl's. Carl just met me. Do not blame him for how I act, what I've said, or how I brought my message across. This is my disclaimer in defense of Carl. Thank you for the first impression, the opportunity to be up here. It's been an honor to meet you. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow me. Linktree, TonyD.original. Please follow my Twitch. Please follow my Rumble. Please follow my YouTube. Please follow my Mixcloud. And my X/Twitter account, honestly. Carl, honestly, I appreciate this conversation. I hope I didn't say too much or do too much, but I tend to have fun with open topics and open conversations. Mike will tell you that. And me and him act up. And honestly, like he said, we can talk for an hour every day about nothing. He'll have a topic or I'll have a topic, and we just go with the flow. It's a natural vibe. Like I said, it's a natural vibe in a natural environment in an open conversation with no offense. We do this a lot. So I do thank you at least for not being bothered by me being up here and for the invite. Absolutely.
You need to read Rick's comment here.
I'm not reading none of these comments, then I'm gonna lose my focus. That's what you
No. Rick is the most wholesome person in this room. This network is not responsible for the opinions of its guest.
Exactly. He's right. But I gave that disclaimer for you, Carl, on purpose. Honestly, if anybody asks about me, play that part back. 2 minutes, 27 minutes.
You didn't promote your football show, buddy.
No, I didn't. I just promoted me because everything's going to be on there. Definitely on my X/Twitter account. All of my broadcasts are there. On Rumble, my broadcasts are there.
Yeah.
YouTube has most of my Bill Kings Fantasy Football League broadcasts. I tend to do music broadcasts similar to the days of Video Soul, Video Vibrations, Your MTV Raps, because I like to do the music video broadcasts we used to have in the 80s and the 90s. Those are fun for me, and I'm a bit nostalgic for it, so I do my own thing with it. Every now and then I'll drop a topic, do some random conversations. But just check me out. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you like it or not. And like I said, Carl, thank you again, honestly.
Of course, Tony. It was an honor having you on, and I really appreciate the upfront wisdom that you bring to the topic, especially with men's advice in the dating world, because men need to have more people who own the content, like, who are actually, like, there's these faithless accounts on X that people that get this huge traction just by spouting stuff that is painfully relatable instead of stuff that actually wields the momentum of truth. And you spoke on that today. Really appreciate you being a force for that. So go check out Tony at Tony D Original, Linktree.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And how are you looking, Michael? Are you looking to head out?
Soon, but I want to answer these questions because this is riveting. You ready?
Sure.
This is riveting. Michael, 70% of women initiate leaving the marriage. It also states that men are comfortable being married.
Was he really?
You were right, Michael.
Tony
has been wrong most of his life. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's what he does. That's what he does. That's what he does.
No, you know what? You are the best guest in the world, Tony. You are.
No, I try to
you're just like plug and play. You could leave. You could leave and just go. Yeah, you know how you need that break. You know, you could just go. You know, you could go to a buffet, come back, and Tony'd still be here.
Yeah, because I still be eating. I put away 4 plates when I go to a buffet, and then 2 salads.
So what did you think of Carl? Be real.
Honest, it's good. This is fun. Great first impression. I hope you feel the same about me. Seriously, it's great first impression.
Likewise, I'd love to have you on and doing. I know today was sort of an oddball show. I done on my co-host that I usually do. So we just did a free ball gratitude show. But yes. It was really interesting to hear your insights on, like, I'd love to do more of the dating content, more of because I think, of course, statistics, they're a wonderful thing. But I think where we get real valuable insight and wisdom is through people who share their personal experience.
Absolutely above research. Yes.
And statistics are devoid of experience. So yes, I
almost had a moment. I'm sorry.
But that's why I appreciate you sharing what you did on the show tonight. And hopefully we can have you back on
Anytime, and let me know. You can always message me. Mike knows how to find me. If you can't, let me know when it's good for you. I'll let you know if I'm free or not. Absolutely. They will tell you I will jump on anybody's broadcast for any decent conversation without a problem.
Especially if it's about relationships. He's got a lot of venting to do. I think this would be good for his soul. No.
I'll be trying, Carl. I'll be trying. You see what I got to do?
Hey, we appreciate you for that. And we appreciate you for that.
I appreciate that he was so open.
Yeah.
Seriously, you were very open. You didn't have to be. Carl, do you have a Twitter?
Let's see. Indeed, you can find me at Honor the Quest. I'm going to put let me see.
That's on X.
On X, you can find me at Honor.
That's where
Honor
I met
Quest.
him. That's where I met him. I don't know.
Yep, on Spaces.
How long ago, though, Carl? Like 2 years ago, a year ago?
Well, I've been on X for, I want to say it's closer to 3 years. I had the 3-year anniversary on X. I got the notification like maybe a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate having the opportunity to be here with you as well. I'm going to scoot with Tony. I think we're going to leave together. Tony, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So Tony and I can be found on Bell Kings on Sundays at 10:30 in the morning on Twitter, on YouTube. Bring your football knowledge. He will answer 1 or 2 questions about dating.
No, I won't.
No,
I'm no football. No. I'm straight football in that broadcast.
But we would love to do more of this. I honestly need to scoot. I got to be up early tomorrow. But Carl, I hope this was good for you. Was it good for you?
Yes, indeed. I love having doing the tweet critiques, getting people's opinion on things that, just getting the pulse on the situation in the dating world, the advice that's going out live to people, men and women all over the world. There needs to be accountability, and it needs to be reviewed. So it's wonderful to have a panel like the both of you chiming in. And I love that there was a disagreement, because it gives the audience windows to explore what resonates for them. We're not just here to decide for everyone what's right. We're here to create the crossroads where people can make the choice.
Agreed.
And for those in the chat wondering, there's the X here. My X account at Honor the Quest.
Yeah, I followed you, and I just reposted this, so I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I try to share the broadcast that I'm on, especially when the conversations are worth it. So hopefully I'll expand what you have.
Yes, and thank you. I appreciate that. Well, any closing words before, I guess we'll wrap it up here for tonight. Tony, we'll start with you.
Do you see how we did that? We directed the train down into the station. Now, as long as we don't use big words.
You cut him off.
He used to flush me. We used to have this thing. I would flush him sometimes.
Mike flush everybody. Closing words, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, think before you act. The best way to stay out of jail. Disrespect is taking over society. Worse than politics. I don't care what you think. I don't care where you come from. Try me. Think I'm wrong. See if I'm wrong. I know I'm not. And as always, live long and prosper.
There we go.
There you go. I want to thank all of Tony's fan club for being.
That was your fan club before mine. Stop it.
They've been so kind to us over the years. We appreciate you. And it just goes to show, of the people that we had hundreds of people. There's probably about 50 that still talk to us from that original, but we've built a whole different audience. Now, for those who like AI music, every day I'm on, I play AI music. I do a little bit of football. I do a little spirituality, a little zaniness. We have different guests all the time. A lot of zaniness. Sometimes Tony comes on. Sometimes we have Donika on. I've been trying to get Carl to come on for, I think, 2 years now. So I had to go on his show. But now that we've got him here, maybe I can woo him over. Maybe I'll get Simone to come on. And that'll be like the bait.
Honest question.
you want to tell him how Simone came in and hijacked our broadcast?
No, I'm gonna let you tell him. That was your story.
He was so kind, but he knows me, and I gave him a cue like, don't F with this person. I just gave him a look. He knows me. I was like, this person's important to me. I have a certain face. It's kind of like this.
Carl, are you into football?
I'm not into football, but I know that y'all run a top tier broadcast with the legendary Tim Brown on football.
Top tier? I have not been told that.
That's what Michael said.
Yes.
Oh, right, Michael? It's top tier.
Top
Michael,
tier.
listen, Michael, the salesman of the crew. You hear me? He is. He is the salesman.
Our show is good. Our show was really good this week, especially.
Yes, Mercy, I will.
Yes, it was great.
Yes, Mercy, I will.
Carl, what was the best part of this for you?
The best part of this was doing the tweet critique and getting people's insight on, because that really bothered me this week. When I saw that, I was like, I don't know how much time we're going to have to do for the critique segment this Monday, but the first one up is going to be this one because it goes so much against what I feel men need to bring to the table in terms of not necessarily being all in on planning, but having the capacity to be responsive to your environment. And I feel like that's slipping away.
Comments. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the comments. Don't mind me.
No, I hear you.
Have you ever thought about doing a whole show of just analyzing tweets?
I have. And I needed a little bit more time to prep for that, but yes, it's in the works.
Tony would be good at that.
Yeah, I would love to have him on when we get he's clearly very responsive.
Especially if it's friction between
clearly, thank you. Clearly, I'm peripheral vision. Yes,
men and women. If there's friction between men and women, he's all in.
And we need people who are willing to share their truth.
Yes.
And just from the little I know about Tony, he's someone who wields that. So that's why it's valuable to have him on the panel.
So your Twitter number now, commutative, you said is 170, sir. Twitter.
A lot of Twitter Spaces people love to keep going and keep going. I try to keep mine condensed. That drives me crazy about Twitter Spaces.
Oh my God. No, but they like the sound of their voice. Some of them will go on about nothing for 30 minutes.
Sometimes
30 minutes. Go ahead.
I got to say that sometimes I feel sometimes you get people on the mic and they have not had someone listen to them, like someone genuinely provide a space for them,
sweetheart,
like for weeks, and they finally get this. They finally got a canvas where someone will hear the words they have to share.
It is true.
And they don't want it to end. They
don't want to lose the attention that they have, and it is a lot of attention that's needed from people. You are 100%. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was in conversation 2 years ago. Mike was like, come check out Space. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was listening to broadcasts all over. I really was. No, I really was. I was listening to so many different broadcasts, so many specific topics. People need to learn how to get to the point. You had a research paper. Introduction, body, closing. Y'all stuck on the body. I mean, I'm a pervert all day. I love the bodies of women. I'm saying y'all stuck on the body. Get to the point. Finish it. Let somebody else talk. Good Lord.
Some of the biggest fights we had on HAPS was I implemented once. And this is when we used to have like 30 people who wanted to speak. I gave them 2 minutes. And if you couldn't say it in 2 minutes, I flushed you.
There are actually some Twitter Spaces people, they will cut you off at that 2 minute mark and they mean it. I'm not mad at them at all.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that they can talk more than you. They just want to give everybody a chance to speak during the broadcast. I actually respect that. So I'm like, okay, they do have people that regulate, but good Lord, there's some talkers up there.
So, Tony, I tuned into you and I did 3 cards. Do you want to hear what they are? Are you open?
You're supposed to leave a while ago. You're going to have to walk the dog before she makes a mess on your carpet.
No, just listen. It's nothing horrible here.
It's his closing remarks. We got to let him have it.
That was 15 minutes ago. Go ahead.
Here you go. Happy. Happy is your first card. And it says, embrace your loving connection and be happy. I want that for you. Number 2 is look deeply within and discover your soul purpose in relationships. No, it's right there.
Yeah, that's a heavy
Number
one.
2.
That's a heavy
And-
one. That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. I like
And the
that.
last card is clarity, which is probably my favorite word today because we all need clarity. Take a moment to think about your situation to figure it out.
Yes.
And that's for you. And okay.
I appreciate that. The second one, keep that for me. Matter of fact, keep all three of them. That second one's primary.
I will. I'll take a picture and send it to you. I promise.
Carl, thank you again.
Of course. Appreciate you. And Michael, any other closing thoughts before we wrap it up here for tonight?
I think he's related to us. Okay, go ahead.
I'm laughing at the comments. I'm sorry. Nursey, you're a trip. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's just going crazy here.
Forgive me, Carl, man. Forgive me. Nursey,
Sweet Pea, I'm glad you like the cards. That's nice. Yeah. And Jason, that's what I expect from you. Brathworth. I know exactly who that is. That's
you got to wrap this up so he can stop, but you can't stop.
That's so true. That's so true. Because they'll keep firing those comments out. You're gonna get a record of comments.
Yes, love the passionate community that y'all have and appreciate the multi-streaming that y'all have got here. Clearly they're engaged, they're frenzied, and they appreciate the content that we're putting out. So Tony,
see this?
Michael,
do you appreciate us too, Carl? This is from ER Nurse.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The passionate, frenzied audience. We appreciate you, Nursey. We got Jason and Sweet Pea, Rick, Costa, all showing up in the chat, providing their presence and giving Tony a laugh and a half.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here and supporting. So on
Jason
that note,
New York.
Thank you again for everyone who chose. You could be anywhere on the internet, but you decided to be here on Honor the Quest with Tony D, Michael, and myself. And we'll see you next week at Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.